Welcome to the idea of where we explore the noise, the nuance, and everything in between. I'm J. Cole. Yup.
And I'm a rapper with a personality.
Oh, wow. And this is a space where culture, creativity, and conversation collide. What's going on, Bossy? Wow, what's going on there? What's going on? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good. I was down for the count this weekend, and so I had to just, it's one of those things where I can deal with, like, a cold, and I can deal
Mhm.
with, the flu or even COVID. Give me a thing, but
Right,
don't
where
give
you
me,
know
like,
what it is.
this general, I feel weird. Is my stomach leaving my
Mm.
body? Like, just,
Right.
like, this weird sort of, am I breathing all right? Like, just that kinda stuff. I don't like that, but I have to have a bunch of doctor's appointments this
Mm.
week. Yesterday, I had one, then, like, 3 more towards the end of the week just to figure out the fuck's going on, but I was
Mm.
down for the count. I was telling
Wow.
off air that I read a bunch of books,
Mhm.
like 4 books in the span of a week, but mostly over the
Golly.
weekend. Yeah, I read fast, and
Are
then
you
I
a are you a
also
you're a book reader, like hard copy? Or do you
no,
listen?
none.
You listen. Okay, okay. Oh, okay. Ebook, okay. Mhm,
And I've been trying to, like, listen to audiobooks while doing other things, like, they call, like, the stacking method
mhm,
for productivity. But I like words, and I've had this thing where it's like, I've told people, "Yeah, yeah, of course, audiobooks is that's reading," but, like, it's not reading, it's listening. And
mhm,
to sort of shift the definition of reading to include audiobooks, I think does a disservice to the work that writers do to actually, like, construct sentences and to be very intentional about where they place words and why. And I like to go back and rewrite or reread a line or be very impressed by the way they stack the words to become sentences and goes into paragraphs. Like, I'm really into that, and I need to read the words in order to do that. I can't get that through audiobooks. I only Audiobooks are good if I just wanna consume. If I
mhm,
wanna consume books,
yeah,
audiobooks are fine, but if I really want to, like, get into the writing part of reading,
mm.
I have to look at the words. I have to look at the words.
Yeah, that I go back and forth. I mean, hard copy is definitely not my preference. I when I was in school, everything was hard copy or, reading like a PDF, like actually reading the words. But I consume my books better when I'm listening to them, but I run into a lot of the challenges that you talk about where I'll try if the book is compelling enough, like, I'll be locked in, like, hearing every word, but when I'm doing that, I can't do anything else. Like, I
Mhm.
can't be, trying to clean the house or, washing dishes and listening, like, I have to be, like, listening. So a lot of times in that process, I'm like, I should just sit down and read the book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should just
Yeah.
sit down and turn the pages myself because 'cause I'm so, like I'm literally, like, staring at nothing, like, listening, like, "Oh, shit."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, like, I
that's
can't do
yeah.
anything else but,
Yeah.
listen in that way.
What I like the Kindle function of being able to listen and then pick up on the
Mm,
book or in the app. So it'll say, "Do you wanna go to the last place you were reading, or do you wanna go to the last place you were listening?" And it'll take you so it's
yeah,
seamless in that way. Like, I appreciate that. I think that when you're consuming books that are about, somebody's research or, like, kinda like, you know what I mean? Like that nonfiction,
yeah,
Body Keeps the Score, Highly Sensitive People, like, stuff like that. I prefer listening to that because it feels like a lecture, and I'm
yeah,
able to get it. But when it comes to, like, fiction or, like, literature,
yeah.
I have to be able to read what they're
I read
saying,
so
and don't let there
little.
be a bad narrator. A bad narrator will make me think the book is bad, and I don't
That's
wanna
a
do that.
wrap. I don't wanna if I'm listening to someone's memoir or biography, like, I don't wanna hear someone else read it. Like, it's
Unless
not
it's
the
me.
same.
Unless it's me.
You read yours, right?
I did.
Okay,
I
yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, 'cause I
Yeah.
listened to yours. But yeah, that's, oh, before we go on, thank everyone for subscribing, listen, we got a couple more subscribers this week, got a couple comments in a few different places. We got a really cool comment on Instagram. Somebody said, I'm gonna tell you who exactly said it. It was, the Jaden the J Danielle, I think it's like the THEGAJAI Danielle. And they liked one of our comments that said, I was literally, this is the person said, the J Danielle, I was literally thinking Bassey should read, speaking of reading, how to say Babylon, and then it was said out loud. The first book I read this year and easily one of the best memoirs I've read. So definitely add
Once
that to your
again,
mhm,
once again, this is I meant to do it. I was like, "Oh, I'll remember," and then I didn't remember.
mhm, mhm. And
Let me
then
get that right now.
somebody said, I can't remember where I saw it, but our favorite listener, Yetunde, she left a comment in December on the last episode in December, when we forced her to be a guest on the show. She basically says she would love to be a guest on the show. So I think that's another way that we elevate our
Excellent.
content this week and we or this year and we invite more people on. I invited one of my boys, Brandon, onto the show. I don't know if we've ever talked about Brandon, but he's one of my
I feel like
fraternity
we have,
brothers. We have, you're right. Yeah, because he was hating on me with my Kendrick take,
as you
but
should,
super,
as you should.
super, super smart guy. Also just got his EDD a couple years ago when I got mine. Young guy, younger than us, but definitely he's a music guy.
Mhm.
And there's people that like digest music and there's people that like think about music and make
Yeah.
connections across a lot of different spaces. And he's one of those. So want to have him on. Of course, we're gonna have Kendra on at some point together. So we're blowing up. We're blowing up.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
Like you
our
knew we
thing.
would.
Like you knew we would. So what else is going on, man? I didn't say subscribe, comment, share our podcast. That's how we get buzz and we grow. And that's definitely what we want to do. What we want to do. What's on the hot topic this week is only one topic that I could think about that
I
deserves
know.
to be.
I could not think of any way to get out of it.
We got to talk about it. We got to
So,
talk
yeah,
about
we've gotta talk about it.
Sir Jonathan Cole. I don't know if that's his first name, but
It's
I just made
Jermaine. How do I know this and you don't? That says
duh,
everything I need. This gives me
duh.
everything I need to know. It is
I call that
Jermaine
man
Cole,
Jonathan.
Jermaine Lamar Cole.
Lamar?
How do I
You just
know
made up
this? Yes.
Lamar. You don't know his middle
No,
name is
no, no.
Lamar.
His middle name was Lamar. Jermaine Lamar Cole.
I had a brain freeze. My bad, Jay. Jermaine.
Jonathan, Jeremy
Jermaine
says everything I need to know. That tells me
Jack
everything.
Jackson Cole released a new single last week. We got new music coming, 2626.
The fall off
And this is the fall off, the most one of the most anticipated albums of the year already.
because he's been teasing it for 10 years.
Yeah, literally like
Yeah.
8 years. Cole has said that this will be
Yeah.
his last album, and Cole has been out since 2011, 2010. Great career. I wanna start this section of our conversation off with the moment I knew, and I shared this on here early when we first started, but right before the beef, I told you, me and Ellington went to a concert. Just happened to fall upon a concert while we were in Tampa at a soccer tournament, and it was the, what's the name of the tour? It was with Drake and Cole. I was about to say best of both worlds, but that's not it at all. They had a football team, some Super Bowl. I remember. Um, and we went to the show, and you know, I remember the diversity of the crowd. I remember it being like old people like me. It was a lot of like father son, parent child combos. A lot of young people all over the place, race wise, gender wise. And I left that show in, I think it was probably March of 2024, knowing that J. Cole was the number one of the big three. And there was something so stripped down of his performance, right? Like, there were times, like, literally at the end of the show, I turned to Ellington and I said, "He's the top one. Like, he's the one of the big 3." Of course, his rhymes and delivery and all of that, but it was just the presence on the stage in direct comparison to Drake, who was, a juggernaut. Like, he's Drake, he had everything. But Cole's simplicity, of course, his rhymes, just things he was doing, like, movement-wise, it was phenomenal, and it was at that point that I said, "He's the one." Then 3, 4 weeks later, the apology, the beef, and then everything kinda shifted from there. I wanna be the first one to say that I was wrong. No, 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 I'm not, no, no. I don't like admitting I was wrong. And I don't know if I was wrong. I don't know. I don't know if I was wrong, but I was really hard on Cole, like a lot of us were, when he the apology tour, "Imma stick my chin out and I don't want my brother," and I was like, "Come on." And the reason why I was so disappointed is because he could have changed the entire dynamic of the beef at that moment, and I think of hip hop in the last 18 months. And I'll hold a grudge for that for a while. But with all that said, I'm excited for this new Cole album. I think he will be the MC of the year early on with this album. So, we'll see, but I just wanted to set that foundation, and when we came back at that time, Bossy had a take that I am committing to saying is Bossy's Achilles heel when it comes
Yes,
to
what
hip-hop.
does that mean? What does that mean?
It is your, you know, you okay, let's talk about Bossy for a second. Let me sit back and talk about Bossy for a second. So
Tread lightly.
Bossy has had some, I feel like your takes are very aligned with, there's a narrative in the hip hop universe when it came to like Kendrick and Drake, right? And you were on standing 10 toes down on the Kendrick side. And when I brought Cole up originally, I feel like you were just a little bit too dismissive of him.
Okay.
And it made me question, like, yo, what does Bossy want, yo? You just
How
want
does that
Kendrick. You
No,
just
no,
want
no, no,
Kendrick.
no. No,
And
no,
s
no.
and so I was just like,
No.
everything that Bossy said that she wants when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to the culture, when it comes to Black men speaking in different spaces and putting truth to power, like, Cole is it. Like, Cole is exactly what Bossy says she wants. So when you had the take that Cole was uninteresting, that he was a college poet, that I'm
The
still
best
flabbergasted in
the
that
best the
statement.
best the best rapper on campus, yes.
Yeah, see, so
Stand by it.
what is your take, Bossy, as
So, okay, so here's the
on
thing.
Cole right now?
And okay, so you sent me the link of his Instagram. I'm trying to take this necklace off of his Instagram post, and I went and I listened to the song, and I was like, okay. I was like, oh, he's going backwards, dope. Oh,
Mhm.
he's rhyming the same words, dope, dope. Like he does that better than Drake does. Like
Yeah.
to the point where it's like he was saying, I think it was the Earth sort of rhyme scheme. And I was like, oh, how's he
Mhm.
gonna pull this off? And then he'd like, oh, that makes like he was putting it together. Like he was really,
Yeah.
really doing it. I listened to it a couple of times, really, really doing it. And then I was like, all right, let me listen to Cole this weekend. I'm bedridden, can't do anything else. I can just sit here and listen to this dude and read books. And I was like, okay. The issue with me is that put Cole in 1998.
Okay, alright. What was going on
So who was
98?
out in 98? What hip hop was in 1998?
98 excuse me, 98 was like the kinda like the end, or the prime time of the golden era. Like, it was
It
Jay,
was
Big and Pac just passed.
just died. Black
So,
Star, Mos Def.
yeah, yeah,
I
Dead
would put I
Prez
would put
a little
Cole
bit.
right. I would put Cole in that Lyricist Lounge, Native Tongues universe.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair,
Within
yeah.
that universe, he makes sense in that universe. But within that universe, he's not better than Mos Def. He's not better than Talib Kweli. He's not better than Posthumous. He's not better than whoever else. I put him in that like in that
MC or song creator, or like
all of the above.
music. Mhm.
All of the above. I put him in the oh shit, I put him in the Far Side, um, I'm, like, blanking. There's a group out of the Hieroglyphics?
Whoa, you
Is
went
it the Hieroglyphics? I can't remember, but there's a group of rappers who were in that universe, and I'm blanking, and I hate the fact that I'm blanking, that were in that universe, who were part of the hip hop conversation, but they weren't Jay and Biggie and Mos
Mhm,
and like they weren't that. He to me falls in that space. And so for him to be the quote unquote best right now, it's because there was nothing else that mimicked that. There was nothing else to mirror that. If you take Cole and put him where the other MCs are, he doesn't hold up. And so when I'm hearing hip hop and when I'm listening to rap and the things that I'm looking for in a rapper, because I'm comparing him to rapidy rap ass niggas, I
mhm,
just don't see it. If I was isolating him and he's like right now, the only person doing A, B, C, and D is J. Cole, yeah, because he's the only one doing it, but if you put him in a sea full of people who are doing that too, he doesn't hold up to me. He doesn't
mhm,
hold up to me. I listened to there's one song, and I can't even remember the name of the song that has literally been in my head, and I listened to it this morning because I was like, "I like this song," whatever it's called, but no bars stuck out to me. No, there was no, like, my favorite bar in this song.
mhm,
Nothing like that sticks out to me. That's the stuff that I look for. He is a great rapper. The nigga can rap. If
mhm,
I was playing Rap Hero on Xbox, if there was like a FIFA for hip hop, I would
mhm,
create a Cole character.
mm, mhm.
The
Ooh,
algorithm
that's a
loves
good
him because
analogy, I
he
like that, yeah.
hits all of the rapping things. He's
Right.
just not interesting to me. He's not saying anything interesting. For him to be the only one out
That
here
part!
the only one
Put a
the
dot right there.
for him to be the only one out here rapidy rapping, and he's like the rapidy rapper, he's the god of rapping, he's the unibrow assassin or whatever the fuck he said. For him to be the only one doing that according to him and his fans, he should have more to say, and he doesn't have a lot to say. How many times is he gonna talk about how he grew up? Or trying to talk to women, or most of his raps are about how good of a rapper he is.
Yeah.
Which is like, all right, cool. Congratulations. Now what? He doesn't move the needle for me culturally. He's a
Mhm,
good rapper. He's a great rapper. I'll even put that. He's a great rapper. He's got a great rapper voice. He has a better pure rapper voice than Kendrick.
mhm,
Let's say that.
mhm,
He's just not interesting to me, and I cannot put him in the same category as the rapping ass niggas that I like from what I think is the apex of conscious rap, where it just started to go into like the mainstream type of thing when it was just Lyricist Lounge and Raucous Records and Native Tongues. I cannot put him in that same category. And that to me is where hip hop is for me, for that kind of a rapper.
mhm,
And also
mhm.
as mother, Rod and I were talking about this, and I'm gonna say something. I'm not gonna say what we spoke about, but he agrees with me. Shout out to Rod. But go
I
ahead.
don't Rod, you know what? I remember Rod had a J. Cole, like, a kinda like, yeah, he's cool, but, here's the thing, here's what I'm wondering right now. When you were bringing up the comparison points to you mentioned Mos Def, Talib, like that ilk of MC, and I remember I think you mentioned Mos Def back then, and I was like, "No, no way, Mos Def is better than J. Cole." Then
100%.
I just started thinking about it. I probably listened to Mos Def is probably one of my most listened to, like, consistently artists over the last 20-25 years, right? Like, I feel like you talk about voice, like, just command, like, he's a MC's MC. He doesn't release enough music for me for him to, like, stay in that category. At one time, for sure he was. I love the way he experiments with the rock and the singing, like, I think all that is great. But I think a comparison between him and Cole is really interesting. And
I'm not
my
I'm not comparing Mos Def and Cole.
Mhm.
I'm not. Kendrick and Mos Def I'd compare. I'm not comparing Mos Def and Cole.
See,
Let me just be
I think
clear.
Mos and Kendrick is a good comparison as well, But I think we can make a comparison between Cole and Most because I think that Cole the elite level of rapping ass J. Cole is I think it's slept on because he never picked a lane. I think most pick the lane as like, I'm going to be a stripped down conscious rapper where I don't care about the sound of the industry. I don't care about what's popular. I'm just going to rap the way I want to and do it the way I want. I think that Cole kind of straddled that line between like, I'm going to rap the way I want to, but I'm also going to have the heavy eights. I'm going to have the double flow. I'm going to have all the things that are popular now, and I don't know if that's his Achilles heel, but I think that that is the added feather in the cap for J. Cole, where he can be an MC for 20 years almost and still I think he can out rap anyone. And
What do
my
you mean? What does out rap mean to you? Like, what does that
I
mean?
feel like every time I think a category a quality for me for someone that can out rap is like every time I listen, I hear something else. Every time like I listen, and it's not just the words, it's the emphasis he puts on certain syllables in 5, 6 bars in a row. The way that he, keeps the same vowel rap for 3 verses in a row where he's always rapping and ends with an A or whatever it is, right? Like technically, the technical
He does that a
skills.
lot better than Drake does.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, and I don't even maybe before seeing him in person, or maybe even before the beef when we were just kind of like listening, when we used to just listen to rap. I think that I might have said that Drake was like they were in competition in terms of rapping, but I don't think there's any comparison between Drake and Cole when it comes to rapping. So the thing that I always keep on coming back to when I was thinking about what Rod said, thinking about what you said, and I mean, Cole's again Achilles heel is that he's boring. Like that is like when you read a text thread or a tweet thread about Cole, he's boring, he has no personality, he's this, he's that.
I think it's uninteresting. I don't know, boring.
But I'm like,
Uninteresting is what I say.
what would make him interesting?
A point of view.
But
He has
I
no
think
point of
it's
view.
clear that
He
his point of
his
view is
only point of view is rapping. I'm a rapper who likes to rap about rapping. He does not inject anything into the culture as far as I'm concerned. And not even as far as I'm concerned, because I've had this conversation a lot. He doesn't bring anything to the table. He just brings himself as a rapping ass rapper, which is why I go back to him being the best rapper on campus, where he'll jump into a cipher and then we all go to class.
that is that is so crazy. That is so disrespectful, yo. I don't even
It's not disrespectful. It's not disrespectful. I like
that
rapping
is
ass niggas on
crazy.
campus. I think that he is technically
That
proficient.
is
Like I said, if there
crazy.
was a FIFA for hip hop, I would create a Cole character because I know that he would be right down the middle. He
Yeah.
wouldn't be polarizing. He wouldn't be like, he's doing weird voices, or oh, why does he keep changing his flow, or change not changing his flow, but changing his style. I think that Kendrick has a point of view. I think that has too many people's points of view, so you don't know what he stands for.
That's
And
a
I think
very
that
good analogy,
Cole
yeah.
doesn't have
That's
a
an
point of
analogy.
view. And the one thing that I would have given him a couple years ago was that he's the kind of rapper that I like who is not intellectual, but like up on stuff. So when he had that back and forth with No Name and he says, I don't read, I'm like, all right, nigga, even the one thing that I was giving you, you took away because you don't read and you're all right with that. So you're a rapping ass. I was in the car yesterday and I have this playlist. I mentioned it before called On Everything I Love
Mhm,
on Apple Music, and it's literally every song I've ever said I liked, I put
mhm.
on there. It's like 900 songs on this playlist, not a single J. Cole. There's that. But because I couldn't think of it. I don't know a name of no, Dreams and Nightmares is who.
That's Meek.
That's
Meek
that's
Mill.
Meek. There's a song that's in my head right now. I don't know what it's called though, that I like, that I'm probably gonna add to my On Everything I
You gotta
Love
add Nice
podcast.
Watch onto there.
I
Oh my
might
god.
take it off, but it's there. I was listening fucking Chub Rock. shuffled
Alright,
onto my
alright.
playlist.
You know what?
Shuffled onto my playlist. No,
That's it
listen,
for
no,
today's
listen.
episode.
And in one of the songs, I can't remember now, he says da 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 da, and then black on black, remember that it's important. I was like in the 6th grade or something in Oklahoma, and I was like, who the fuck is Yusef Hawkins? I went to the library and looked up who was Yusef Hawkins, and I learned about some shit that happened in Brooklyn when I was in Oklahoma because
Mhm.
of stuff that somebody in hip hop. I used to learn shit because of hip hop. I used to know shit that I didn't know. I don't listen to J. Cole and walk away with anything, not a rhyme scheme, not a bar that I'm like, oh, did you hear this bar? He said nothing. He has no point of view. He has no point of reference. He's not all the shit that's happened over the last 10 years. What is his place in the movement? What is his place in the conversation, in the history books when it comes to hip hop, except for I am the rapper who was rapping when nobody else was rapping.
Mhm, mhm. I mean, yeah,
Congratulations.
I can hear that critique. I can hear that critique. I'm sure that this is the part with Cole that aligns with what you're saying. He has so much rap. Like, he has so many like, he's not he has a couple songs where he's singing one of my favorite tracks of his is, "I just wanna be free, free." The one he's singing is, like, at the beginning, it's like I think it's an intro to one of the songs. Um, I think that's an honest critique. I think that that's legit where I know, like, intrinsically that he's spoken you know, um on issues on police brutality. He's spoken on the Me Too movement, but I can't recall like what song. Because a critique of Cole's is that because he is a rapidy rap ass nigga and he has like his voice is somewhat monotone. His flow is all over the place. Like his flow, like he has a lot of different flows, but a lot of his songs become one song in my head. Like if I listen to an album, like from song to song to song, of course the beat changes and things like that. But a lot of his albums are almost like one track for me. Cause when I listen to it, it's like you put it on, like, damn, Cole's crazy. But I think there's not as much distinguishing qualities to Cole's music. And I think that's real for sure. I just think that I love the analogy you made about if you're creating a character on FIFA or NBA, okay, whatever, and you had to create an MC, you would create Cole. From everything from his presence to, his clothes to how his appearance has changed over time. He was clean cut, fade, now he has locks, he looks like Jesus. Like all that shit is dope. And just the way that he MCs is just it trumps everything to me, no pun intended. Like, it overshadows all of the things that people don't like about Cole. It's just that listen to him rap. Like, listen to him rap. Like, there nothing else matters to me when it comes to his beat selection is crazy. Like, his music always sounds good. And also, I can see where, there's not as many distinguishing factors to make him as memorable as even a Drake, like, because we know what Drake stands for. Like, we know a Drake song, we know a Drake ad lib when we hear it, we know a Kendrick ad lib when we hear it, right? But Cole is kind of, for better or for worse, that's not where he, you know,
Do,
shines, where he stands out.
do you just here and there? Do you know that song Wild Thoughts by Rihanna and I think it's like on Khaled's
Yeah, DJ
Khaled's
Khaled.
I can't call anybody. Yeah. So I was
Uh,
yeah, yeah. So
mhm.
that was on, I don't know what it was on, but I heard something, how you hear something in your head and I was like, what song is that? And so I played it. I was like, oh, it's that song. Drake wrote that. He's not
Rihanna's
listed, he's
part?
not credited. Yeah, the whole
Oh, I
song.
didn't.
If you listen, no, it's not credited because I Googled, I was like, it doesn't say anything. But if you listen to the song, that's Drake. That's Drake.
Mm,
There's a line in there where she says, black and white like I was your sister. And I was like, black and white like you were my sister. That's Drake. That's Drake. Drake wrote that song, or Party Next Door. Whoever writes for Drake wrote that song. But the
Mhm,
fact that I can hear a song that has nothing to do with Drake and be like, "Oh, that's Drake," or Drake had something to do with this, regardless of how I feel about Drake, he's got a perspective and he's got
mhm.
a recognizable, noticeable, okay, that's him. Even when he's traversing fucking accents, there's still something that's distinctly Drake that you can pick up. Even with Kendrick, who sounds like about 57 people in one sentence,
Yeah,
which is polarizing, which I say, when I'm
yeah,
building a FIFA character,
yeah,
Kendrick would be too, like, sometimes he'd make it, sometimes he'd be over here, and it'd be
yeah.
impressive to some people, but it's not whatever. Then there's Drake, who's not technically proficient, so he'd be, I don't know anything about, I was about to make some soccer correlations, I don't know, but like who is like, who's like flashy, like you're watching it, but he's not going to score every single
Yeah,
time.
he's gonna miss the shot for sure.
Exactly.
He's gonna make you go like, "Oh,"
Cole
yeah, but he's gonna miss the
Cole
shot.
is not gonna shoot, but he's gonna make sure he gets the ball to who's gonna shoot. He's gonna be able to, like, play the line and like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make this shot, but I'm gonna give it to this person, he'll make that shot."
Yeah.
Fantastic. Uninteresting.
You know what I think Cole 2 does?
Uninteresting.
What I think why I lean towards Cole so much right now is because I was and am really like I said from the very beginning, from day one, the beef really just didn't sit right with me, right? It never has from the very beginning. After we got They Not Like Us, like all that was great. Like the rapping, love it. Back and forth, love it. Euphoria, the scary song, all that, loved it, right?
Scary song.
I can't think of the name right now.
Meet the Grams.
Meet the Grand, like that shit, that will be probably one of the greatest days of hip hop for me. Like that was beautiful. That was a great day.
Yeah.
I hate everything that came after that. And part of the reason why I think this is might be a good analogy in my head it's forming. Cole could have been and probably is what is when you're doing a science experiment and if there's a lot of reaction going on and you put a drop in there and it kind of like levels everything out, what is that called? Is that like an elixir?
The
No, that's not
base.
right. What?
I I I said base. I was thinking litmus test, but it's not that. I don't know
It's
science, nigga.
I felt like we could pull that analogy out. But like I feel like Cole could have been the thing to like
Oh, so
level
so
everything
like
out.
the alkaline, like acidic, da, da, da.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
hundred
So
percent,
so
a
if
hundred
you got
percent.
all
But no,
this
no, no,
reaction going on,
no.
smoke,
Let's.
fire, and you put something in and it settles it out.
This is what the thing is. The beef was never supposed to be what it was. It was never
Right,
supposed to be that. Everybody who knows Kendrick and was talking about it was like, Kendrick was ready for whatever.
right,
Anytime,
right.
any one of those people, if they had said
Clearly.
he was ready for whatever, if you
Yeah,
would have talked about this, he had something for that. He said many times, do not talk about my family, nigga. Like, don't do it.
right.
And Drake's, Imma do it. And that's why we got what had he not done that, we would have gotten other songs. There were a couple of songs on GNX. I was like, these were supposed to be
Yeah,
in the disc, I mean, in the battle had it not gone the way it was.
yeah. I
I
feel that
hear
way for
you.
Drake too, actually. I feel like there was I shared this with you before, but there are a couple songs right before the beef came out on that album with all the pregnant emojis on it, which was generally a whack album, but there were
Take
like
care.
2 or 3
I don't know.
songs,
If you're reading this, I'm pregnant.
no, you know what I'm talking about with the
I
emojis with all
do,
the
I
different.
do, I do.
There
I
were
just know
like
what it's
2
called
or
though.
3 songs on there. One was Champagne Poetry, where I was like, "Oh, he's talking about the beef a year before it happened, and he's saying things that he probably you should have kept on to this." But I think you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, the beef shouldn't have gone the way the beef was fine when you put it in a box and you put it when May 2024 when everything happened, beautiful. It was amazing. It was everything after that
So
that
so this is what I was getting at with that thing. Point is, Heart Part 6 was supposed to be, like, part of the whatever, but he had to, like, pivot and talk about some other things. That's why he should have changed the name, but that's why he went with that name very, very
yeah.
clearly.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
He
yeah.
whatever. So when Port Antonio comes out, and Cole is talking about, "Oh,
Oh,
the
yeah.
blood, I could have been." He could have been that. He could have been
Good.
the balance. He could have been the person who's like, "All right, I don't know what y'all niggas are talking about, but I'm the best rapper because I rap about rapping shit," or
Right.
whatever. He didn't do that. He
He
didn't do
didn't.
that.
Yeah.
So he's removed from the conversation. I him continuously talking about how he's the best. Okay. What else you got? Because now you can't really talk. You can't
Yeah.
keep talking about how you're the best right now. Because
I
you're not, you didn't show improve when you were supposed to show improve. So
mm,
what else do you have to talk about? And my point is he's got nothing to talk about except for I used to be a kid, I grew up in this place, and I'm a good rapper. That's all he's got. All of his songs are some variation of his life and the fact that he's a skilled rapper.
yeah.
He can't do that anymore. Not with after what Kendrick has done with his entire discography, and not what happened in the beef, because in the battle, because at this point Drake looks like he's got more heart than Cole does. So it doesn't matter if you're the rapping ass nigga, you don't have the heart. And I don't mean you don't have the heart for battle. Like, what are you
Right, right,
talking
right.
about? Like, what's your
Mm,
shit right now? Like,
yeah.
who do we where do we put you in the conversation except for the fact that you're a good rapper?
Yeah, I mean, I can't you're not gonna get a disagreement with me out of that from me out of that would be because I somewhat agree. I think that Cole can come back with this album and still say he's the best rapper, but it's kinda like the best rapper with the asterisks. It's like, they have baseball players that took steroids and, like, they have the most home runs, but it's like, "Ooh, this was also the year when everybody was on HGH."
You know who Cole is? Cole is Cannabis. Cannabis was a
Okay,
fucking dope ass
I
rapper.
can't do I'm not
Cannabis,
gonna do
Cannabis
this.
had all of the technical prowess. Okay, let's take Lupe Fiasco. No, even Lupe Fiasco was more talented. Like rapping about rapping is not going to get you too far. And the only reason why rapping about rapping got him far is because nobody was rapping. If you put him in an era, in a generation where niggas was rapping, he doesn't hold up. He doesn't hold up.
Calling him cannabis, that literally made my stomach hurt a little bit.
Cannabis was a dope rapper. Have you seen that
It
the
was dope.
footage of it's Cannabis, Mos Def, Big Pun.
Yes, that where they're sitting, like, at a table in a bar or something, at a restaurant
Yeah,
or
and
something.
they're
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
just
yeah,
they're
yeah.
just it's just in a cipher. Cannabis
Yeah.
held up.
Yeah, oh, for
He held
sure.
up.
Oh, I mean, he could rapidy
He
rap.
held his own. He held his own. Where is Cannabis? The only reason why Cannabis isn't anywhere is because he was doing that around people who were really doing the shit, who had all of the rapping shit on top of charisma, on top of personality, on top of perspective, on top of. That's why he didn't make it. Put Cole in that generation and tell me that he still is the kind of rapper that you say that he is.
I think he would probably be more appreciated in that generation than he is now.
Absolutely, but he would not be
Yeah.
considered the best. He would not be considered the GOAT.
Maybe not, but I do think that being in that space, I don't know. I think the part that I hadn't considered, and this is me listening to the argument, right? The part that I hadn't considered is that J. Cole was rapping when nobody was rapping, and that's true. I mean, there was like four niggas that was rapping like he was rapping. I think the constant comparison between him and Wale is a good one. I think Wale
Mhm.
is another MC
Wale is a
that
perfect example.
I mean, Wale's last album, have you sat with that album? Golly.
Yeah, and that's another like, the fall off if the fall off needs to be that. The fall off
That's
needs to be
exactly where I
that.
was going. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah.
That's the song that what am I the Instagram song did not give me. I was like, where have you been the last 2 years? Like that, let's talk about the reason why you weren't able to step in this on some Mr. Morale shit.
And he's going to. He's
My
got to.
my mom used to argue with my stepdad, and so
I don't like
argument
violence.
verse or some shit like that. On Port
Yeah, yeah,
Antonio,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like, just because a gun doesn't shoot doesn't mean it's not deadly. Nigga, yes, it does.
He
If
said
you're not gonna
deadly.
shoot the fucking gun, it is not as deadly as somebody who did
He
shoot the
said
fucking
deadly.
gun. He said deadly. I
Yeah,
remember that
that
shit
poor that
clearly.
poor
Like,
Antonio. That
I'm
was
not trying to
disappointing.
tell
Yeah.
you that he's not dope. And
Yeah.
honestly, let me tell you how I'm a better person than you. Let me just be very clear. I could have come at you like you came at Kendrick a couple of weeks ago, but I was like,
What?
I made it a point to be like, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to make him mad. I want to actually have a conversation about what it is that I don't feel about this nigga. But the thing is, I don't begrudge anybody else from like, it's like y'all want to say he's the greatest. I disagree. Y'all want to act like the sun rises and sets on him. I disagree. But if you
Mhm.
just want, if, and Rod and I talked about this, if you just want to say Cole is a dope rapper,
Yes, yes,
agreed,
yes,
100%, let's go.
yes, yes.
Cole is the greatest rapper who ever lived. Nobody else is ever rapping as much as he's been rapping, and he's never been rapped out in his entire life. And anybody who comes, shut up.
But
He's a
here's the
good
listen
rapper. Leave it
listen to this though.
alone. That's
Listen to
it.
this. Good. We all agree. Me, you, and Rod agree that Cole is a good rapper. All right, so let's start where we agree. He's a dope
Technically
rapper,
proficient.
technically proficient, right? I think that the last big, I don't even, we retired the big three. There is no, well, at one point in time, there was a big three, and the
There's
big
never a
three
big
had an
three.
opportunity to step into the ring, and only two did.
Cole was
So,
the only person calling them the big three. Otherwise, no one would
no,
have
no,
said it.
everybody was calling them the big three. I don't even think that the big three, I mean, of course, Biggie, Jay Z, and Nas, right? And I wanted to use that example. Like Biggie, Jay Z, and Nas were always, Jay said it, I think Nas even said, who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay Z, and Nas, right? Were there other MCs around that time that were dope MCs? Of course. We were talking about Mos Def, Talib. I wouldn't put Talib, but Mos Def, even Cannabis.
Black
Just if we're just
Star.
yeah, we're just talking about rapping ass rappers. There were a ton of rappers, right? So I think with this the previous big three, the 2000s big three with Drake, Kendrick, and Cole,
But
I think that are there other rappers outside of Drake, Kendrick, and Cole that were dope and probably better lyricists? Just so we're just talking about lyricists. Yes, there are. There's always going to be like MCs on the fringe, underground MCs, folks that we never heard of, whatever, right? But there's something about longevity, right, that elevates your status. And then there's something about being confronted. Like there's like if someone says that, yo, y'all think y'all the best three, I think I should be included in that, and you don't do anything, you kind of lose your status as a big three. So for that reason, I think there was a time that Cole, Kendrick, and Drake were like the big three status is almost like they're representatives of the sound and the culture of mainstream rap in that
right, I
moment.
was about to say that. Yeah.
Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas were that representation of the 90s.
Biggie died before Jay took off. So people putting Biggie, Jay, and Nas together is about like a comprehensive type of number one mainstream because there
Mainstream.
were other
For sure
people that
mainstream.
were
Yeah.
rapping as well, or if not better. But that big three was more about impact because they weren't
Mhm.
all out at the same time. Nas's first album was 90, Illmatic was 93,
93, 94.
94,
Mhm.
94.
Yep.
Did I ever tell you he bought me McDonald's french fries? Anyway,
You
uh,
see what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
it was the day, never mind.
Why are we like, yo, you know what I'm saying?
So he comes out in like 93. Biggie dies in 96.
96, yep.
Jay didn't become Jay until what, 98?
96, 97. Yeah.
But like, I don't
Hard
like,
Knock Life was 97, 98. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right after Biggie died. But
After
he didn't
Biggie, yeah.
become Jay until a little bit later. So that level of big and Nas wasn't part of a big three in 93, but it's just like comprehensively the impact that
Comprehensive,
they
yes.
had, the
Yeah.
the impact that they had on the game and the culture is significant. The big three.
Mhm.
The impact, love him or hate him, the impact that Drake has had on hip hop is huge. The impact that
Yeah.
don't want to talk about Kendrick. It feels like Cole is only there because he's there. What is his impact? Who has he influenced? Who has he, even with the whole Dreamville thing, like JID or JID or whatever,
Mhm.
should have been the next guy, but he's not being nurtured as the next guy in a camp that J. Cole is in. Like
Yeah,
I don't what is the impact that Biggie, Jay, and Nas were about comprehensive impact, how they changed the game. Because if we're talking about like just random big three across the entire hip hop landscape, Rakim literally changed the game. Rakim literally said, "We're not doing the hip hop hippity hop shit anymore." He changed the direction of the flow. Why isn't he considered in a big three conversation? Because it's about
yeah.
mainstream impact. J. Cole did not impact the mainstream the way that the others
Just
did.
thinking about this, how about no, that's a great another a great reflection. Do you remember when
Take
Kanye
back the
what?
Achilles heel of hip hop shit. Take that shit back. Cause I earned this shit. I know the fuck I'm talking
It's
about.
still
I know
it's
what the
still
fuck I'm
out. It's
talking
still
about.
out.
Take it
Hold
back.
on. You
I've
might
been
not
doing this
have an
since way
exposed
back.
Achilles, but your Achilles
I've
is
been doing
wrapped.
this shit
We're
from
gonna put your
way
Achilles
back.
on ice. But no, listen. So dang, I lost my no. Okay, yeah. So you remember when Kanye came out, right? And
Kanye should be on the list.
without a doubt, he's in the class by himself. But there was something about Kanye, right, that appealed that opened up a space
You're gonna say it.
for what?
No,
What?
no, I know this is something that I
No,
had in
no,
my mind, but I didn't want to. No, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no. There was, and I'll speak for myself. Kanye was so appealing to me because he bridged that gap from dudes that was like thugged out, you know, Big
There it
T
is. I knew.
and
There it is.
Kanye represented like
There it
a
is.
regular guy, right? A regular guy. Even though like he wasn't regular, but that's how he presented himself. He was wearing
Yeah.
polos, he was, you know, very
He went to
normal talking about
college.
every day. Okay, right. That's where I was going next, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like on some level, Cole does that as well. And
On
he
every level.
on every level, right? So
On
he
every level.
represents a regular guy. And I think that I've always said this part of the there's no reason why, and I'm not comparing J. Cole to Ashanti, but I'm gonna make a connection here. Ashanti was so popular. I never liked Ashanti as an artist. Like
Me either.
at our wedding in 2002, we had a list of artists that they couldn't play. And it was Ja Rule and Ashanti because I just can't stand her, right? But I believe that Ashanti was so wildly popular because people could sing along with her songs and sound better than her, right? Or they feel like, oh, I could do what she does, like rain on me, right? And I think on some level that contributes to J. Cole's popularity is
On
that on the
every level.
surface, he looks like I've never, I think I saw him with the chain on one time, you know, like he'd be wearing busted ass shoes. He's wearing culotte jeans. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's
He washes his own car.
right. Like, he's riding around on a bike with the radio, with like a boombox. Like, what the
He's
fuck?
accessible.
Right. And so I think that there is some that gives him some points to this. Like that adds to his it removes mystique. Like even though you don't see him out, you don't see him in pictures with all the rappers, but it makes him so it's a maybe digestible, accessible, but that adds to his role in that mid 2000s 2020 big 3 is that he doesn't fit any mold, and I think all 3 of them don't. I think that Kendrick doesn't and didn't fit a mold. Drake at the time when he came out also didn't like they all think of okay, oh, wait. Oh, it's coming together now, it's coming together. There was a time frame, and it might have been like 2012, no, 2013, 14, when Cole was the leader of that group. Right? Can we agree to that? That one, like it might have been a window, a snapshot where Cole was the leader of the big 3.
What do you mean by the leader?
He
I can't
represented
confirm or deny because I don't know what you mean.
he I think from what we knew at that time, from what we heard from Kendrick in 20 I don't know 2014, 13, from what we heard from Kendrick, from what we heard from Drake and from what we heard of Cole, I think Cole checked more of the boxes of all the things that we want from our MCs. Radio hits, flow, style, persona, all that, even flashy on
J
some level,
cosign.
right?
He had the J
Cole,
cosign.
the J cosign. But then Cole, his imagery and what he represented visually just never advanced. And if anything, it probably regressed, right? Like he came from looking like, his whole thing was I played basketball, I went to
I
college,
went
I
to college.
graduated, I could play ball, I could take your girl, and I could
I'm
rap.
light
Like that's,
skinned.
yeah, I'm light skinned, I got a chipped tooth, like all that stuff, right? And he regressed outwardly when I think the other MCs and a lot of MCs went into a completely different direction. And Cole stayed, for better or for worse, stagnant. Like he stayed like, I'm just gonna rap. Like I just want to rap. Like I just want to make music and rap. I don't necessarily want to be in the cover of anybody's album. I don't want to sit in anybody's interview. I'm just gonna rap. And I think there's some people where that really resonates with, and there's some people that like, that's just boring. Like you need to evolve. You need to be more of what the industry says you should be. And
Well,
that
okay,
I think
I
that's
didn't say that. That's not the part I said. I don't think he should be more what the industry, because I think he is industry as much as people don't wanna say. But I again, I don't wanna keep throwing Rod into this, but, like, Rod and I had a conversation about
what did
exactly
Rod
what you
say,
said.
yo? Well,
If
let's
I
bring
mean,
Rod
he
to the show, yo. What you got? You
but
got beef, Rod? We can do this, Rod, if you want to do it. Come on.
relax.
Yo, Rod got beef. Yo, Rod got J. Cole beef. Rod is from North Carolina.
It's not
He should be.
exactly, which should tell you everything. He's from the same place and he's still like, "Mm." But what you said is exactly it. He does appeal to that Black college educated, I can do this too because I used to rhyme on campus too,
Mhm.
but he made it out type shit. That makes
We made
perfect
it out.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes
Yeah.
perfect sense. I'm gonna equate this to, and don't just hear me and
Oh
don't,
God. Whenever you do
Taylor
that, it's
Swift.
oh, all right.
Part of the reason why Taylor Swift is as popular as she is because all of her fans, she could call them right on stage and be like,
Yeah.
"You, come on stage with me."
Be
They'll
like
know the
me. Right.
dance,
Yeah.
they'll know the words, they'll be able to do whatever little weirdo non-dancing two-step because they know they see themselves in her. They see who she wants to be, who they wanna be, and also the fact that they could be that at any given
Yeah.
time. They worship the fact that they can relate to her. I think Cole is the same in that, and again, don't wanna take away from his talent, I just don't think it's as outsized as everybody else as y'all say it is, but it is very much, "That's my homeboy.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
can stand on
yeah.
stage and rap at me, and I can rap back at him, and he can call
Yeah.
me on stage, and we can rap together. The exact same cadence, the exact same flow. I know every single thing. It's not going to change at all." That is the appeal. That does not a big 3 best of all time, greatest of all time make.
Yeah. All right. All right. So here's my, it's not a challenge. Here's my wondering, right? Cole's
Mhm,
album comes out next week in 2 weeks.
mhm.
I think that I wonder, will you and Rod be able to listen to his album and change your opinion if it is worth changing? If the
What
music makes you change your opinion of him?
what opinion?
Like if he releases the greatest album of all time, or just a memorable album that goes against everything that you're saying about him, in terms of, and I acknowledge you're saying he's a dope rapper, so we assume there's going to be dope raps on the album. But if he comes with a vision, if he comes with a voice, if he comes with, more of the things that a lot of people say that he's lacking, will you be able to change your opinion? Will you come on this microphone and say, Mike, you were right about
No.
J. Cole?
No,
I
because
know. See, that's
what?
the thing.
No, no,
I know
no, no,
you
no, no,
won't. I
no,
know you
no,
wouldn't.
no,
I
no, no,
knew you.
no, no,
That was
no, no, no,
a
no,
trick. You
relax. No, no, no,
failed.
no, no.
You
No, no, no,
failed.
no.
I knew it. What? See.
It's
Here's
not he's
here
never gonna be top 3 for me. He's never gonna be top 3 for me. If I listen to the album and it's a dope album, I'll talk about what a dope album Cole made, but he's not gonna all of a sudden leapfrog to the top of the conversation off of one album. Because
You
if
don't think
anything,
so?
it just proves my po No! What are you
Alright,
talking about? Did Wale
alright. I think I've always had
Wale
Wale in my
No,
in
no,
my top
Wale is
tier,
he's absolutely dope, but his last project is probably it was one of the best projects of did he come out this
hands
year?
down. No,
So
2025. Yeah,
okay,
that's
so it was one
I
of the
wish it
best
c yeah.
projects of 2025, as was
Mhm.
Chance's project. One of the
Ah,
best projects.
yes. We haven't talked
But
about that
those
enough up here, yeah.
projects do not change anything as far as their career goes because they're already where they are. I can s
Mhm,
if Cole's album is fucking amazing, is better than my favorite, which is Mr. Morale,
mhm.
if it ticks all of that all of those boxes as far as, like, storytelling, point of view, introspection, all of that. If it does all of that, I'll be like, "Wow, that was dope. That's a dope album, is one of the best albums of this year so
Mhm.
far."
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything that I think about who Cole has been. It's just that I'll just be like, "Oh, finally there's an album that I can put this album on my list of" if anybody ever asks me what I think of J. Cole, I'd be like, "Oh, The Fall Off was really good. I really
Mm.
liked The Fall Off." That'll
I
be
think
the
there
conversation, but I'm not changing my opinion on him because my opinion on him is not a is immutable
I think
unless I
there are
go back to
s
25th. Sorry, go ahead.
I think there are some projects and some works of art in general across genres of art that can redefine someone's career. I don't know if this will be it. I don't know. But I've thought for a while that people listen to albums differently depending upon what's happening around the album. And not only that, that people do listen to current works of art and then goes back to previous works of art and be like, it was there
So
all along. I'm not
this is
saying
what I
that'll
was
happen with
thinking.
Cole,
No, no, no,
right?
this is what I was thinking. The way that I would change my mind, that what you're saying would actually happen, is if the fall off was a 20-year fucking, what's that movie? Kaiser Soze ass, "I planned this shit since 2007. Y'all thought I
Mhm.
was boring, but here are all the pieces all the traps that I've laid." What's the name of that movie? The Usual Suspect.
Oh,
If
yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
that if he did that, I was like, "Okay, my
Mm.
bad, Cole. My bad." He's not gonna do that, though.
He's not
He's
yeah,
not gonna do that. That's the only thing that would change my mind. If this was like some well calculated, like I planned this shit out since the day I dropped or the second album, and I've been working it. That's why I've been talking about. If you've been talking about the fall off for 10 years because that's what he was doing, I stand corrected. Still not the best, but I will change my opinion on what it is that you do as an artist, as a creative, because I like shit like that. But
I think there's a good
he's not
chance
gonna
that
do
that
that.
could happen. I really do
It's
think
not
like
gonna
that
happen.
I mean, I don't think it'll be as obvious as that, but I think that Fall Off will be a culminating album.
It needs to be.
I think it will be like I think it's gonna be one of the best projects of the year. And I
I mean,
just
probably.
because he has 2 years of shit, like, he's got some explaining to do.
Mhm.
And a dope MC, regardless of whether you want to get in the beef or not, whatever, a dope MC will be able to creatively and tell a unique story about regret. Like, I'm hoping to hear, like, as a J. Cole fan, I'm hoping to hear, like, damn, my bad, Mike. Like, I know you wanted me
But
to,
he didn't though. Port Antonio was his opportunity
no, but
to
that
like
was too soon though. That was still it was still
nobody forced
bubbling.
him
It
to
was
do
fr
that. Nobody
yeah,
forced him to do that. Nobody was like, "Oh, I wish he would drop a song titled
definitely.
something
Yeah.
Jamaican ass."
I think it's a good chance that I mean, I think he has to. I mean, not because he's J. Cole and he had a chance to be in the beef and he didn't, but just because he's an MC and he's a voice of this, generation ish. Like he's a voice and I've missed his commentary on rap shit. Well, the album that he had, All the Kids on Drugs or something like that, like,
Oh my
that
god.
was a see, like, that you talk about he didn't have a stance, like, that whole album was about what we were hearing at that time, which was the pill popping rap, like, all the kids are on drugs, and he was talking about, like, that shit's whack. Now, it came off a little preachy, it was a little, like, sonically, it wasn't
And
what
then
we
he
needed
he
to be.
apologized and called himself a hater. He apologized to Lil Yachty about that shit. Like, what are you talking about? That man holds no standard. He apologized for saying that
Did he?
and said,
I
"Oh, I was
missed that.
just being a hater." On Lil Yachty's listen, I'm not coming in here uneducated. I'm not gonna just come in here
Oh,
and
I
hate
know,
and
I
talk
know.
about his hair like somebody did a couple weeks ago on this podcast. I'm not gonna make shit up in order to be defiant. Like, I did my research. I want to like this nigga, but I don't,
Mm, mm,
and I've thought
mm.
about it. I've thought about it all the way through.
Well, for our listeners, that when the album comes out February 6th, and I feel like we are going to have a conversation about a real honest conversation about Jonathan Jackson Jack Cole,
Jeremy
Jeremy Cole.
Jeremy
Nah,
Cole.
I hear you. I hear all
Cole
your points.
World.
Yeah,
Cole
Cole. I
World.
don't think you're wrong. I just think that you are. You say you listen to his albums. I just
Oh
question.
my god.
I just
Oh
question it.
my god.
'Cause I can't believe
Oh
it. I
my
just
god.
can't believe
The one
that you
song that's in my
listen to
head, I
his
like that
album.
song. I just don't know what it's called. What's the song that goes dun, 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 dun? What song is that?
Oh, see, that's a
If you
radio
want my
song.
dun, dun,
Eh,
dun, dun,
and
dun,
no,
dun,
no, see
dun.
you again. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes. I listen to
I don't even
that.
like that song like that. Like,
It stuck
I
with
don't like
me. It's a
most
song I
of
remember.
I don't like most of Cole's radio songs. It's his, the album cuts I think are super dope. But no, everything you're saying is valid. I'm just joking with you mostly, but I just think based on what you said about hip hop and what you loved, I just assume that Cole would be. He just checks so many of those boxes. But I also get why he doesn't. I don't. That's good. Good combo.
Can see the point. I'd like to also say, I would like to say again, I did not come in here being inflammatory like you were a couple weeks ago. I just want that
I
to be
didn't
very
come
clear.
in being
I just want that
inflammatory.
to be very clear. I was respectful. I ain't say anything
Yeah, I feel
crazy.
like I was
I could have talked
respectful.
about I could have talked about a lot of shit. And I was like, no, keep it hip
No,
hop.
you can. No, you can. Listen,
Keep
I'm a
it
Kanye
deadly.
West fan. I'm
Keep
a
it
Kanye
deadly.
West fan. So I've been berated, I've been yelled at, I've been beat up over my stances on Kanye. So and I don't ride as hard for Cole as I do for Ye. But Ye has an album coming out next week,
Oh God.
possibly.
He has an
Um
album coming out every week. Like, when does he not?
basically. But yeah, I'm excited about Cole and I'm excited about Kanye and I'm just excited about rap right now. This should be a really good year. This should be a really
This
good
is
year.
he was calculating in that this is a really good time to because of the beef that he stepped out of, or the battle he stepped out of, the ground for and that's another thing. You mentioned this a couple of months ago where all this hip hop was happening, all this great hip hop was happening. You were like, "Where's Cole?"
Where's Cole? Yeah, no, I stand by that for sure.
The battle leveled the playing field as far as allowing these conversations to even happen because the airwaves aren't dominated by one person and all of his features. So in a time period when we've got the clips coming back out, Chance's album was dope. Wale's album was dope. Who else? I'm blanking. We got
Who's
a lot of really,
Freddie
really good hip
Gibbs
hop.
out? I mean, dope
Yeah, we got
albums
a
last year.
lot of really, really good hip hop right now, and
Jid's album, golly.
this is a great opportunity for your man to come out here and rap. But again, as the so-called big 3, he should have been part of this. He should have been part of the reason why the landscape
Yeah.
was clear for people to rap. Right now, it just feels like I'm saying this, but I don't mean it the way it's gonna sound out. Right now, it just feels like he's taking advantage of something that he should have been part of creating.
No, I totally agree with. Like that, I'm in total agreement to that. I feel like I missed his voice as a narrator, even if he didn't want to be in it, if he didn't want to be a contender, like narrating what's happening. And that makes me angry. Like, that
If
makes
he
me
would have
angry.
dropped a song, if he would have,
Oh
if
my
he would have, if
god,
he
are
would have
you
not
crazy?
dropped Port Antonio and then dropped a song like after like the clips and been like,
Oh
this
my
is the hip hop.
god.
This is, if he would have come out and be like, this is the hip hop that I love. It's not about the beef. It's about the, if he would have done that, I'd be like, all right, Cole, I hear you. But
Yes,
he's
that
not. He's still coming out like,
that pissed
I
me
don't care
off.
what else happened. I'm still the best. Niggas, shut
Yeah,
up.
and he
Talk
could I
about
mean,
something different.
he could have been in that moment after the beef. If he doesn't wanna say, "Hey, I hate Drake, I hate Kendrick," whatever, he could have just been like he could have been almost like the narrator of it. I think I said this before
Mhm.
on here. He could have been
Yeah.
like sitting in the back, like, look at these niggas. Look at he's gonna
Yeah.
say this, he's gonna say this, I did that,
Yes.
whatever. He could have been like, he could have had such a perfect role, and he could have been sniping them all along the way. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Take a little shot here, take a little shot there. Hey, hey, you can't get me. I'm not in it. He could have still played that role, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't. And then
Or
after
he
it
could
was
be like,
done,
"I'm number 1, you guys are fighting for 2," or something.
it was right there. It was right there. He could have did all of that. And that's really what, even after he said, "Hey, I bow out," I was like, "Oh, nah, he's not gonna bow out for real." Cause he's a rapidy rap ass nigga. Like, he's like, this is what he wants. This is what he's been saying. That you talk about Achilles heel, that is Cole's Achilles heel. When they write a book about Cole, they're gonna talk about what a great rapper he is, they're gonna talk about all the shit we talked about, but they're gonna say, and in the battle of 2024, when folks were putting stakes in the ground, he took himself out of the battle. And,
Out of the
he's a
hip
great
hop
rapper,
conversation,
but he
'cause
he
he didn't just take
he
himself
took
out of the
himself
battle,
out.
he took himself out of hip hop. He was
That's
gone.
that's gone. That is disrespectful. I
To
really
hip
do
hop.
think, like, it really is. I really do think, like, he didn't have nothing to say. We haven't heard this nigga's voice in 2 years. That's crazy.
No,
That's
no, we
crazy.
heard Grippy, we heard Deadly.
That doesn't count. Those, I don't know why he did those. Like, those
I'll
that
never
makes me
let go
angry.
of just because the gun doesn't shoot doesn't mean it's not deadly. Nigga,
Yeah, no,
that
that
shit made me
that
mad.
makes me angry. But I still love Cole. I think he's dope. I think this album's gonna be good. So we'll see. We'll see.
And I want that for you. I
I
want
think
that for you.
we're in for a surprise, I think. I think. He's gotta have a feature by Jay on there. No, no, no. I'm not even gonna talk. We're not gonna talk about the album. We'll just wait.
No, let's talk about that.
What?
That sub he threw at Jay? How do you feel about that?
Oh, by your so-called goat or something
So-called
like that?
king.
So-called king.
So-called king.
How I processed it in my own
My God. What the kids say? Cope. The copium.
I processed it that he was telling a story from current times to the past time, right? Or
Mhm.
yeah, right? And at the point of the song where he said so-called king is how he felt at that time when he was coming into the game. That's how I processed it. Probably giving him too many pleas there. But I mean, we all know
How does
how
that
Cole thinks
work?
about Jay, right? Like, we know how Cole thinks about Jay. I will say this, and this goes back to another point of why they all make me angry, why Drake and Cole make me angry, is that they both had stamps from the GOAT. And I feel like they both fumbled them, right? Do we have a song with Kendrick and Jay? I think Jay was on a
Jay
remix.
was on the Swimming Pools remix, I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was crazy. But
Yeah. But they're I mean, his work wife is Beyonce, so
true, true, true.
there's
Jay
a lot of love there.
Z has 3 songs with Drake. I can't name anyone other than Memphis Bleak that Jay has that many songs with.
Mm.
I think Jay only has 1 song with Cole, actually. But yeah, they had all the stands. I don't know, man. I don't think he was taking a shot. I think, just kind of little, I don't know.
With
It
one of
was
the greatest of all time.
it did shake me when I first heard it. I was like, whoa,
Why would he take a
whoa,
shot? Why okay.
relax. No, it definitely made me raise an eyebrow, but
It too big for his britches.
then I was thinking, I was like, if he's saying anything that could be mistaken as a shot at Jay, then this album's about to be crazy. That he's flaming earth on this album. Like he's like, hey, y'all want beef? All right, I'm gonna drop this last album and I'm gonna
Okay.
fall off. Then you'll never see me again.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk into the
I'm gonna
sunset.
step out of a battle with Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey Graham, but I'm coming for Jay-Z. Okay.
He
All
didn't come for
right.
Jay. He just let a little, his little
Okay.
thing. And I think it
All
also went with
right.
the rhyme pattern. It went with the rhyme pattern of that. He needed the extra syllable, so-called king. No, yeah. That's
He could have just not said that line though.
he gotta be a little provocative.
I think that he was doing the, ain't no other king in this rap thing, the siblings.
Yes, yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
he was doing that.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Yes.
But there was a way, as an MC, there was a way to
Yes.
finesse that didn't sound like that. But I think that he's smart enough. He went to college,
Mhm.
as he keeps reminding us. He knows how people were going to take that.
Of
So I
course.
think it was
Yeah, of course.
intentional.
Yeah. I agree. I think it was
Ain't no other
intentional. I
king
don't
of
think
this
it
rap
was
thing,
beef
the
though.
siblings. I think it's something.
What you got going on this week? Anything? We'll be
It's
as
just a
we
bunch of
wrap
doctor's
up here.
appointments. Just poked
Yeah.
and prodded for the entire week. Oh, did I mention? So I was on TikTok. I have the
Oh,
brick thing. First of all, I have the brick, and that shit is annoyingly good. Like,
see.
I don't wanna get up and, like, unlock my phone, so I'm just not on my phone. I'm, like, reading and shit.
Okay.
But when I was on TikTok, I saw this woman who was teaching people how to hand knit, and she was making blankets.
Oh,
So I went on Amazon and I ordered, like, 12 things of yarn, like, these big yarn. So I'm about to make a blanket. I tried yesterday and I kept messing up, but I'm about to make a blanket. So that's my new thing. Imma be in the bed
I cannot.
making
Now
a
you're
blanket.
blanket making. Okay.
Knowing my
All right.
attention span, it'll be a scarf, and everybody's just gonna have be happy with that. It's
One
gonna be a
scarf.
scarf.
I feel like
That's it.
every woman I know went through a knitting phase. What was
They did
that?
during COVID, they did. During COVID,
No, there
they
was
did.
another. Yeah, definitely during that. But there was another phase. My wife, to this day, we have a big ass bag in our closet with unused yarn and needles. It's like, what? When did you become a knitter, my nigga? Like, what are you like? What? Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. But that, I mean, that is that's a hobby. You know,
I mean,
keep
it's
your
gonna last
hands.
exactly 2 days, so
Man, that's funny. That's funny. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us on this exploration of Jackson Cole. And I cannot believe I forgot his name in that moment. That was crazy.
Jeremy
When I say
Cole.
Jonathan
You
Cole.
said Jonathan Cole. His name
That's
is
funny.
Jermaine Lamar Cole.
Well, y'all keep finding the truth in the chaos, the clarity in the culture, and the joy in the journey. And we will holler at you next week. Peace out.
Bye.